I intend to discuss in this podcast a crisis that strikes at the very heart of our communities and our future, which is the radicalization of our youth. Look around the world, from the once peaceful villages of Chhattisgarh and Odisha, West Bengal in India, plagued by the violence of left wing extremism, to the troubled regions of Kenya, Nigeria, and Somalia, terrorized by groups like Al Shabaab, Al Qaeda, which has given birth to several splinter groups in Sahel and North African region, and Boko Haram. The names change, the ideologies shift, but the root cause, in my view, remains tragically the same: frustrated youth, easy prey to antisocial elements. But before I dwell on this topic, let me very briefly talk about my credentials to talk on this subject. In India, I was heading one of the largest skill development company, and my team had trained and placed over 250,000 rural youth in gainful employment. Most of this youth were from the bottom of pyramid and came from largely left-wing affected districts like Sukuma, Dantewada in Chhattisgarh, Gadchiroli and Gondia in Maharashtra, Malkangiri and Kandhamal in Odisha, and so on. In those days, it was quite common for collectors and other government officials to get routinely kidnapped. In many such instances, I was being deputed by the then Minister for Rural Development, Government of India, to visit the location, uh, to understand the psyche of the youth, and set up vocational development centers so that the disgruntled youth could join the national mainstream. Later, when I was in Africa, I realized that the frustration of the youth due to lack of gainful employment opportunities and their migration from rural hinterland, as agriculture was no more attractive, was actively contributing to their joining the extremist groups, resulting in violence, unprecedented violence. So, with this backdrop, let me share my perspective on this very important subject. We must be brutally honest about why this is happening. Our youth are not inherently drawn to violence, in my view. They are drawn to purpose, dignity, and opportunity. First, there is the silent grinding, if you will, the crisis of economic despair, absolute despair. When young men or women, often partially or fully educated, cannot find a legitimate job, when the doors of opportunity are slammed shut, a sense of grave injustice sets in. Extremist recruiters very cleverly step into this vacuum. They offer a false sense of status, a temporary paycheck, a country made gun or revolver, and a twisted ideology that promises a new empowering identity. They turn economic vulnerability into a recruitment tool. Second, there is a breakdown of local governance. In too many vulnerable areas, local institutions are weak or unresponsive or simply absent. They fail to deliver essential services. More importantly, they fail to provide security, and they fail to give young people a voice. This absence of a strong social safety net and a platform for participation allows extremist groups to act as a sinister parallel authority, further alienating our youth. Alienation plus joblessness, in my view, is a killer formula for violence. But let me not merely diagnose the problem. I want to champion the solution to some extent, which I have worked upon. A solution that is practical, powerful, and proven. That solution is an unshakable commitment to vocational training and job creation as the ultimate counter narrative to extremism. We must stop treating this only as a security problem, and this is a very important issue according to me. I repeat again, we must stop treating this only as a security problem and start tackling it as a developmental and human potential challenge. Vocational training is not just about teaching a skill, it is about restoring dignity. It replaces a narrative of violence for purpose with the tangible reality of productivity, wealth creation, and self reliance. When a young person learns to become a skilled welder, a mobile technician, or a digital marketeer, they are no longer dependent. They are contributors to the wealth creation of the society. Furthermore, integrating these youth into the mainstream economy is an act of social healing. It dismantles the isolated ideological echo chambers of extremism by integrating them into the positive, goal oriented world of workplace. This is how we achieve seamless integration in civil societies by turning potential threats into active collaborative participants. For this, we need a very clear roadmap to turn our good intentions into lasting impact. Let me highlight the three phases, according to me, that are the building bridges. These are preparation and partnership as phase one, training and transformation as phase two, and sustained employment and integration as phase three. We start at the grassroots. We need stronger local governance to lead this change. There must be powerful change agents identified and cultivated with the NGOs, community leaders, and the private sector to conduct a thorough needs assessment. What skills are actually in demand in the local economy? And we must tailor our training, be it in sustainable agriculture, renewable energy, or essential trades, to ensure that every certificate leads directly to a job. In phase two, um, which according to me is a phase, I call it as a phase of empowerment, we should establish high quality training centers with qualified, trained trainers offering certified skills. But we must pair this with holistic support. This means providing essential psychosocial counseling, soft skills to address trauma and vulnerability. It means fostering critical thinking skills to inculcate them against propaganda. And for those with entrepreneurial fire, it means offering microfinance and mentorship to help them start their own enterprise. And the third phase is of sustained employment and integration. The work is not done until the youth has a good job, a decent job, not minimum wages, but living wages. We must actively engage industry associations and local businesses to guarantee high job placement rates. We must advocate for policies that incentivize companies to hire graduates from these programs. And finally, we must ensure continuous monitoring, tracking their success, taking mid course correction, offering reskilling when needed, and ensuring that these success stories are visible for all to see. It's a ripple effect. We must transform a liability into a highly skilled, productive demographic dividend. In conclusion, let me say this: this is a challenge too big for any single government agency to handle. It demands a whole of society approach. It requires the government to provide the framework, the private sector to provide the jobs, and the local community to provide the acceptance. It's high time, in my view, to commit to this path of opportunity. We must offer our youth a hand up, not a handout. Let's replace the despair of the margins with the dignity of the mainstream. Let us build a future where every young person, regardless of their background, has the skills and the chance to build a better, peaceful, and prosperous life for themselves and for the nation that they belong to. Thank you very much.